Welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man back in the studio with another completed commission. This one is 75 plus models for a Warhammer 40k Adepta Sororitas Sisters of Battle Army. It's in the custom color scheme paint job with the white armor and blue capes or cloaks, black weapons, and then silver and gold highlights. This commission is composed of 3 squads of 10 battle sisters, all with a standard bearer, various battle sister leader equipment, and then they each have a heavy and special weapon as well. And then we have on top of the 30 sisters troops, we have another 5 of the retributors, the heavy weapon sisters, with 4 heavy bolters and once again a sister superior. And then there are 10 of the seraphim, 2 squads of 5, again with a superior with the various weapon combinations. And then we have 2 of the sisters with the fusion pistols and 2 with the hand flamers for the 2 different squads, so 10 of them total. And then we have 2 squads of 5 Zephyrim, so 10 Zephyrim. Once again, each of the squads has a Zephyrim standard on the sister superior, and then they're obviously all mounted or armed with a power weapon and pistol. You'll notice all the flight stands are just attached with a little bit of sticky tack just to keep them from breaking during transport. Allow the clients to glue them once they arrive. Then we also have, on top of those 20 flying sisters, we have another one of our tanks. We have the back there in the back, obviously. We have the missile racks. Obviously, like the whole organ theme going on to it with the flames and white armor and everything. Once again, very cool tank. The top portion is left separated so it can be removed for easy transport, and it doesn't stand up quite as tall. So then on top of that, we then have our characters. So in this case, we have Ephrael Stern and Kygil, who is one of the Sisters Battle characters, and then a Eldar character as well. And then we have also a Hospitaller. We have 2 Canonesses with various equipment. One has Blessed Blade and Fusion Pistol, and the other has the Giant Chainsword. And then we have a, let's see, so that's the 2 Canonesses. And then on top of that, we have 7 characters from the Hordes game, Warmachine Hordes, up front there. There's various characters. I'm not as familiar with those ones, but again, they have that similar paint scheme and are painted to match. And then, of course, in the back there, we have Celestine with her 2 Gemini superiors. So we have the 1 tank. We have a total of 15 HQs or characters, including the Warmachine Hordes. We have a total of 35 troops. 35 like foot soldiers or infantry. 5 are heavy, and then 3 of the squads are troops. And then we have 3 of the cherubs to go along with those, a standard in each squad. And then we have 10 seraphim and 10 Zephyrim. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was 75 total models, including the tank. And it is quite a army to see. It's hard to even pick up like the vast quantity and quality of everything, without getting up close on specific models. But we did the custom temple style bases once again. We have like the in this case the ruined temples, a bunch of different details and everything to go along with them as well. And then we're using a custom like static grass like flock type situation there. So it's like a little like kind of brown rocks with like the overall like green looking static grass. And once again, we've done all white armor using Citadel contrast paints. And then we've done a couple different golds for the accent colors. Some of the metallics are the silver as well. We did black on the guns, and then obviously have quite a bit of like the bright glow effect done with green. And then we also have a little bit of red accents in there for some of the grenades and ribbons, etc. There is the conversion for one of the Canonesses, so that she has the Giant Chainsword, as that is not currently offered but is very good in game terms. The Eviscerator, I believe it's called. And then I have the 3 different styles for the banner bearers, 1 different for each squad. And then we have obviously done like some details on like the books and ribbons for like the Hospitaller and some of those standard bearers. And then again you have in each Zephyrim squad one of the giant standards as well. Those are like super good in game terms. And then finally, like I was saying, you can remove the top off of the tank to transport it a little bit easier. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of break down the whole setup how I have it right now, and just kind of go through and we can take a closer look at some of the squads or some of the characters once everything's sort of moved out of the way. But I did just want to get some video of basically like the whole army out here on display and just show off just the absolute like beauty of the cohesiveness of the army, of the basing, the color schemes, and how it allows basically certain portions of it to stand out but still gives that overall cohesive look to it. So we will come back shortly with some individual squads and kind of take a closer look. Just do a quick little pan over top the army and kind of see everything a little bit more close up, a little more detailed. See the actual composition of it and everything. And then we can go through by the individual units and take a look at them as well. Now you'll notice the blue on the bases for the Seraphim and Zephyrim, and that's just some tack holding the base and the stand to the model itself. So, alright, so just going to take a little closer look now at some of the models. So you can see here we got the Exorcist, obviously one of my favorites of the new models. Absolutely beautiful, awesome detail on it. And if you look down in there, you can see essentially like all the little roses, little piano keys, all that. But one problem is obviously it's very large to fit in a case. So what we do is we leave this top portion unglued so you can pop that off and remove it and transport it like much better. See the detail and everything really inside there. And then when you're ready to play with it, you can just slide this right back on top, and you're good to go. And obviously you can't even tell once it's assembled and everything, and you got no problem with it staying together on its own or anything like that. So definitely a great kit and great design. And then next we've got everybody's favorite right here, pretty much an auto include in your army even if you play a game without her. Saint Celestine and her Gemini. And one of the problems with Celestine and the Gemini obviously is just the awkwardness of the wings. So we go ahead and do a little magnet on there so you can remove them. They clip right into place, no problem. And then again, the backpacks for the Gemini are a little less necessary, but once again, we go ahead and do those as well. And then we've got like the glows on the swords and everything done, so it gives it like extra little coolness as well. Then just kind of taking a look at some of the characters. This was a Canoness little customization that we did. Went ahead and added on the sword modification. So we basically had an option that was not available from your typical kits. Very cool little conversion right there. And then this one with the Blessed Blade and Inferno Pistol is just your standard kit and everything. You can see just the vibrancy of the colors and everything. Very cool. And then we've got Ephrael Stern, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, and Kaijil, but that is our little elf companion right there. And then we've got Stern in like the super action pose, and she does come with like already like some of the stones and everything to do the custom base, but then when you add that in with like our typical basing style, it gives it like the double whammy. This is one of my favorites of the new models right here. We have the Hospitaller. And then she's got like the sister with the actual like blood and everything going on there. Little blood in the vial and everything. And then she's obviously saying a little prayer. You can see like the little words in the book and everything. Very cool model. And then here's a couple of the just random ones from the Warmachine Horde. Conveniently enough, and I'm sure this is part of why the client picked them, but once again they're all females and have that typical paint scheme that actually matches the paint scheme that we did up for this commission specifically. So there's like 7 of these girls, and once again I'm not a huge fan of most models outside of Games Workshop's line just because they're such high quality, and most of these are a combination between metal and resin also. It looks like 3D printed if I'm not mistaken, but you know, it's like a resin 3D print. Overall, good models, good fit and everything. They are like cut off of the metal base attachments and then mounted like typical on here. Some of them are a little more weighty, the ones with metal components. Like this one had like the whole cloak and back and everything is all resin, and then like the actual body is metal. Definitely cool, like dynamic kind of floating pose, and again look really cool with this color scheme and everything. This one is like coming out of like a little whirlwind. Pretty cool overall. Definitely think the models are nice considering. I can understand why he chose them as well, obviously being females, and then having like a whole cool army that matches for Warhammer, and then also fits in for I'm assuming he's a War Machine player as well. So and then we have our just like standard sisters. Each one of these has a heavy weapon, special weapon. Did up like a couple of different options for the superiors. So like this one has a combi plasma, and then you know, like options for like the little Rosarius, I believe it's called. She's like holding up there, and then each one we did up a different different standard. So they all have like their own little like unique look for the squads and everything. Got like a couple with you know, pulling out a grenade to throw, dynamic poses, helmets, no helmets, you know, melt a gun, heavy flamer, quite a bit of options for them. Very cool overall and great models. And then for the next squad, we've got a squad of the what is it, retributors next. So there's 5 of them. Went with 4 heavy bolters and the character, and then one of the cherubs as well. So again, you've got some pretty cool options. Definitely like a little different style on the cherub model. Each of the heavy bolters is a little bit different. You know, either like with the head options or like the actual bolter pose, and then the bodies that they go on vary as well. And then in this case, we did the chain sword, and then she's got a bolter on her back in the book, little bionic eye. But once again, very cool model there. And then like this one was a slight conversion using like the Zephyrum standard. It matches obviously with them, but she's got like her bolter on her back and her helmet in her hand. Another cherub right there. Melt-a-gun in this squad. And then in this case for the character, we did a pistol, plasma pistol with power sword combination. And then she's got like a little crown, little royalty action going on there. And then just your like standard sisters with helmets, mostly bolters. And then you obviously have once again heavy flamer, melt-a-gun. We've got like pulling out the grenade. But you know, quite a bit of diversity, poses from the kits and everything. And then obviously it helps also doing the bases up to give each one a unique look as well. And then finally we have our last 10 sisters here. This one's getting ready to go martyr herself. And then we've got again the heavy flamer. And then it's set up so you could essentially put the heavy flamers in the like a Dominion squad, or melt-a-guns in a Dominion squad, and then run like a heavy bolter in each squad. But if you're familiar with the actual Sisters of Battle rules, ideally you want to have one melt-a-gun, one flamer, and then all your bolters, and then you can give yourself +1 to wound with the stratagem. So that's like an ideal situation for all your units to get that +1 to wound to take down whatever you need. But this one's got like the little crossbow, and then again like the power sword. And you know, they give you like the sheath for the sword to put on their back and everything. And then we've got once again the standard, a couple of the regular sisters, and then our cherub as well. And yeah, that's the whole army completed right there. Definitely came out very nice. I'm a big fan of the bases, obviously, and the overall color scheme. And obviously it's very popular as I continue to get orders for this army. And from what I understand, Sisters of Battle are absolutely phenomenal in this edition, and probably going to be very competitive. I'm interested to see the numbers as people get out there and log their games, and we start to see like tournament results over the next few months or a year or whatever. So, well, there you have it, guys. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man. That's another completed commission, and I'm out of here.